Have you ever sat down with yourself in your office after a hard day of work, or in your home faced with important life decisions to make? Probably you've come to those moments where you wake up in the morning and dread your day, kind of just shut off and put yourself on autopilot and just go through life. Have you ever crushed into those moments that you almost scream, "Who am I? Where am I going? Who am I becoming?" If you have, then you're not alone. In this day and age, we face so much pressure to define ourselves from social media, our educational systems, and even in our relationships with the people around us. So join us today as we uncover, structure, and formulate ways on how to help each other discover our life's purpose. So joining us today is a chartered accountant with a master's in business leadership, Deputy CEO Group Investment CBZ Holdings, investment banker, farmer, husband, father of two, a pilot, a golfer, and an avid reader. Oh, I'm so excited. Please help me welcome Mr. Jack Francis Smith. Welcome, sir.
Hi, Dani. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
It's so great to have you here, and it's such an honor.
Thank you. And I'm excited about our conversation.
So let's get into it.
Great.
Passion and purpose.
Mm-hmm.
What do you understand by passion and purpose? Let's start with purpose.
Purpose. Well, I guess when I think of those two words, I try and think about the differences between them.
Mm-hmm.
Purpose, I think, is the reason for doing something.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Passion is, shall I say, the motivation, the
Mm-hmm.
excitement in doing what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to think that there's normally a relationship
Mm-hmm.
between those two.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, when people find their purpose,
Mm-hmm.
they are passionate in their pursuit of that
Mm-hmm.
that purpose.
Yes.
And I think that's how the two words come together.
Mm-hmm.
So, passion and purpose.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think comes first, passion or purpose?
That's interesting. I've never really applied my mind to that.
Mm-hmm.
I would suspect that typically purpose
Mm-hmm.
would come first,
Mm-hmm.
because it gives us, shall I say, a North Star
Mm-hmm.
to steer to.
Mm-hmm.
And once we have that North Star, we passionately pursue it. We do all we can to get to that purpose that we believe is ours.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, I don't think the order matters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would be far-fetched to imagine that someone would find something they're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
And whilst doing that, they realize that that passion, that thing that they're doing, that they enjoy,
Yeah.
is actually driving them towards a goal or
Mm-hmm.
something. So I would give an example of a child
Yeah.
who starts to play soccer,
Mm-hmm.
and they are passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they pursue it doggedly, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And then as they do that, with time, they realize that, you know what, this could actually be my career.
Mm-hmm.
To be an international soccer star,
Mm-hmm.
to be a football player.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have purpose,
Yeah.
but the passion came first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think the order really matters.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just understanding the relationship between the two.
Okay.
I think once one is discovered, you do need to find the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got purpose and you believe that's your purpose, it's important you find the passion to pursue it, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you.
Okay.
Let's talk about you're a pilot. You're a farmer,
Mm-hmm.
and you're the deputy CEO.
Yes.
Can we take us back 15, 20 years, 22 years?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about you having identified purpose and passion in your life.
You know what? It's a journey that I'm still on.
Okay.
15 years ago, 20 years ago, I don't think I knew what my purpose was.
Okay.
And I certainly wasn't at that point passionate about what I was doing. I started my career in banking, but at that point I was just a teenager who was working in a bank. I was a bank teller, and I think at that point I was not sure what I wanted and where I was going. But whilst I was there, and I realized that whilst I enjoyed banking, I enjoyed finance, I enjoyed investments, it struck me that in order to get to the place that I wanted, which was to manage investments, and it's a journey that came upon me. I needed to refocus to something different.
Yeah.
And at the time, I left my job in the bank. I used to work at Stanbic as a bank teller. I left that job and went back to school, so to speak. I started doing my articles, which is working and studying at the same time. And I think that helped me actually start to identify what I was passionate about, because in articles, you get to audit different companies. You visit different businesses and understand what they do. And it occurred to me that I liked looking at businesses, building businesses, and understanding how they worked. But not just one particular business, different businesses.
Okay.
And so the exposure I got there kind of naturally led me to a career where I could look at these different businesses as an investor. As an investment manager, this, the opportunity you have is looking at investments from a where's this business going kind of perspective. What are their earnings? How are they earning? What are their prospects? You know what I mean? So it kind of grew on me. And I think from articles, it became very clear that investment management was something that I wanted to do. And from there, I did end up working for an investment company. I ended up at Dadvest, which ended up being part of CBZ. And I guess that's the way the story went. And here I am. But to say that I've found my purpose, I think it's something that I'm still working on. I think it's a journey that continues. But I'm passionate about what I do. So it's a journey I'm enjoying. Yeah.
But would you say that you are living in your purpose?
I believe so.
Yeah?
I believe so. I believe I'm working towards my purpose. Maybe that's the better way to put it. I'm walking towards it because it changes. When you get to a certain step, this is the beauty of life. This is the beauty of ambition and trying to get ahead. You set a goal, which I suppose is a mini step towards your purpose. And the moment you achieve that goal, you realize that, oh, wait a minute, now I need to set another one and another one. And so it becomes a journey where you're moving forward and you are taking steps towards that purpose that you believe you are meant for. But as I said, as you get closer to that purpose, changes start to happen. You start to realize that, oh, okay, there's nuances to that purpose that I need to take into account. And that's why I think the journey changes. So yes, I think I am journeying towards my purpose. I think I'm passionate in that journey. But I appreciate that purpose can change slightly as you go through life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And personality.
Yes.
Personality and purpose. Do you think there's a relationship there? Do you think that your purpose, you could also, if you take into account who you are, what you love, your personality type, do you think it could give you glimpses of, or glimpses to purpose, or it would give you hints to what you'd prosper to, or what you'd flourish in, what you'd love?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that different personalities are suited to different purposes.
Okay.
Those people who are artistic, they tend not to want to be cloistered, to be trapped in buildings and structure and offices.
Yes, yes.
So I would dare say that someone like that, their purpose would not lead them into buildings
Yes.
and structures, but rather the opposite.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, we've got those people who are, shall I say, structured
Yes.
in the way they think. They feel that things have to happen in a certain way. Their whole being is rule based. They would not be suited with an environment where, anything goes.
Yes.
And where
Very much.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
So they, on the other hand, if they found themselves in those situations, they would be lost.
They'll be lost.
Because they're looking for structure, they're looking for rules, and they want to be in the office. They want to be in meetings and talking about codes and structures. So I think personality is an important element in determining what your purpose is. And I would say that the wrong personality going after a purpose that doesn't suit it would cause problems. That's what I think.
Okay.
So yeah, I think personality is an important part of that.
And your journey? Tell us about your journey. Any mentors? Tell us about the ups and downs, the highlights.
I have had many mentors.
Okay.
Maybe mentors is not the right word. More like people that I admire. I ascribe to be like. And I've looked at them and I've tried to emulate those elements of their character or their journey that I think would be applicable to me and that I like. I don't think anyone is perfect, obviously. And because of that, there'll be elements that I like in certain individuals and elements I don't like. And because of that, I would shadow people, so to speak, that I work with, that I work for, and learn from them. But at the same time, I would also be trying to ensure that those elements that I don't think are desirable, I'm not emulating that. In fact, I'm learning from them. So I think that's throughout my career, I've been blessed to have people that I can look up to. And I guess they have, without their knowledge, acted as mentors for me. I have had people, bosses who I work with, who have given me advice, given me direction. And they've been unofficially mentors to me as well. Articles, which I talked about, the first part of my career. A big part of it also relates to you being assigned to a mentor type, a partner of sorts, who kind of guides your development in articles. So I suppose at that point, it was quite a guided mentorship. But once I was out in the real world, you just pick your mentor and you follow them. I guess that's what I've been doing. Yeah.
Great. So let's talk about the ups and downs. In search of purpose and who you wanted to become, did you ever encounter those moments where maybe you felt lost, or it was always, you always saw the light and it was just do the work and you get the result?
No. I got lost a lot of times. I made wrong decisions a lot of times. What was important was that when that happened, I guess fostered an attitude of learning from it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So the most progress that I've made has happened when actually things have gone wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, because when things are right, I think you just coast, so to speak, and you just keep doing things, and maybe things are happening in spite of you, not because of you.
Okay.
And you just ascribe that to your own talent or to your own skill, when in actual fact it was something that was always going to happen. When something goes wrong, most of the time you can definitely ascribe it to yourself. And at that point, you can introspect and ask yourself questions and say, what could I have done better? You know what I mean?
Yes.
I tend to, I normally need about 24 hours to feel sorry for myself first.
24 hours?
Yeah.
Just one day?
Yeah. One day, feel sorry for yourself for a day, go home, put some sad music on, and,
Dance?
just think how, no, not dancing, the opposite. Sit in a corner and
Yeah.
think how unfair the world is
Okay.
and how everyone is against you. But the moment that day is done, no more whining.
Okay.
Let's look forward and say, what are we going to do?
But do you see the people the same way afterwards?
I think, yes. You mean people that I would have encountered?
People you think were working
Against me?
against you, yes.
Well, I don't think people specifically work against you.
Okay.
I think we are just in an environment where everyone is competitive and everyone is trying to get ahead. Okay? So there's bound to be situations where you could clash with people. You could have a complete difference in character or perspective or how you look at things. So they are bound to, when you're working life, encounter that. What's important is not to take it personally. Yes, you may encounter people who make it their mission to slow you down,
Yeah.
but they are just part of the furniture, the woodwork that you encounter as you move forward. And what you're supposed to do is to jump over and move on to the next thing. Never take it personally, I say. Don't resent people.
Okay.
Don't be bitter. Because that hurts only you
Yes.
and slows you down. And most of the time when you are bitter towards people, you know what? They don't even care. They don't even know that you are harboring these ill will or bad feelings about something they did to you. You know. But encounter someone, learn and say, I will not be in a situation where that person is going to slow me down or affect me the way they did. You know? And it's okay to be angry the day it happens. But once it's done, move on and learn from it.
Yes.
It's also a way of discovering who you trust and who you do not. You know, because at the end of the day, it's also important to have a circle of support. No one can get ahead by themselves. Yeah. So it's just a way of, I suppose, God showing you who is on your team and who isn't.
Yeah.
And once it's clear, move on. Yeah.
Competition.
Yes.
Is competition good or bad, or it depends in the industry you're working in?
Competition is always good.
Okay.
It's always good because it pushes you to better yourself. It pushes you to move forward and do better. You know what I mean? It has to be healthy competition, obviously. And by that I mean you don't want an environment which, shall I say, is like a Game of Thrones kind of situation where everyone is stabbing everyone in the back. No, I don't think that's healthy. But you do want a situation where everyone around you is pushing you to be better. That's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Yeah.
And the world of today.
Yes.
I was reading Mastery, Robert
Yes.
Greene.
Okay.
And he was saying in this world of today where there's so much immense competition, there is need for people to tap into their creative. People because we need to diversify. It's no longer about learning or getting educated in order to fit into a particular institution, say banking, for example. And we should diversify. Would you comment on that? Comment on allowing your creative to also be part of your life and maybe moving away from institution a bit?
I think it depends on what you do. I believe I subscribe to the importance of creativity
Yeah.
in our lives. I love people who are innovative, people who come up with new ideas, because without them, we would be in caves right now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And we wouldn't even have fire, I'm sure. So creatives drive us forward. And the importance of creativity and innovation in bringing our civilization to where it is now cannot be understated. Having said that, I appreciate that not everyone is built to be a creative. And I suppose it's about people identifying that. Some people are just happy to go along with whatever's before them. Maybe they don't have to tap into their creative side as much. Other people, they want to draw new pictures and come up with new ideas. And those people, they are the ones who typically make us break barriers. So I ascribe to be a creative in my own life, because I have great admiration for creatives.
Yes.
And what they've done for us. Yeah.
Let's talk about principles. Principles in safeguarding purpose and passion. For someone who has achieved what you have achieved, what principles have you stood by? What principles do you stand by for someone who wants to live a life of purpose and passion? What are your do's and don'ts and your nevers?
And principles are very important to anyone, irrespective of your station in life, or what you've achieved or what you haven't achieved. I think principles are the core of who we are as people. And for me, a lot of my own principles are, I suppose, rooted in my Christian faith. And I think that probably applies to a lot of people. You don't want to do harm when you're doing what you're doing. You want to be honorable in your dealings with people. You want to be a man of your word. People can count on you.
Yes.
You want to be transparent and honest when you talk to people. So don't be deceptive. Tell them exactly what you think, even if it's not going to make them happy. And basically try and be a good person. Try and be the sort of person that works towards protecting those that are, I suppose, in a weaker position than you are. Not taking advantage of people, that sort of thing. So I think a lot of my principles center around that. Just being a morally upright person.
Yes.
And I think you do that in all your dealings. That should guide you going forward. And then hold on to that. Don't let, as you pursue your purpose and your passion, don't lose yourself. Don't lose the person you are. Because when you do that, I don't know, it's kind of defeats the whole, I'm trying to go somewhere.
Okay.
Because when you get there, you're no longer the person you were when you started. That's my thought on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Confidence, courage to pursue your purpose. Were you always in banking?
No.
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 Okay. What
Well,
was supposed to be
I
your
started
part?
in banking, but
Okay.
like I said, I diverged. I went into auditing. I eventually came back to banking. So no, I wasn't always doing that.
Okay.
And even as we speak, it's not the only thing I do. To say that I'm into banking and investments, I don't think would summarize the person I've become. like you sort of alluded to when you were talking about the things that I'm interested in. I love farming. I love the idea of being able to produce something that people eat. I love that. Which is why even whilst I'm farming, it will always be something that I know positively affects society. That's how I see it. And so there's certain things I wouldn't farm. I love flying. So that's something that I also do on the side. So what I'm trying to say is, as we live these lives that we live, you probably find that you shouldn't just limit yourself
Yes.
in terms of the things that you do. Do the things that you love, and guess what? You may not just love one thing, you may love more than one thing. And if you're able to do that, do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And flying? Can we go there?
What's there to say? It's just something that I enjoy.
Yeah.
Just decided one day that I wanted to fly through the air.
You just decided. You just woke up and wanted to be a pilot.
It's not quite that simple. I think it's something that always sat at the back of my mind.
Yeah.
It's something that I, at some point, didn't think I was ever going to do.
Okay.
Because I was doing other things. I was trying to, like you said, be a banker, trying to be an investment person.
So how did you balance it? How were you at work and aviation lessons at the same time?
It took me time.
Okay.
It took me years to
Was
get
it still in
my
Zimbabwe?
license. No, actually, I got my license in South Africa. But it took me years to do.
Okay.
And I'll do it when I'm on leave or weekends. Whenever I had free time, it was something that I would do. I would study.
You'd fly there.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's something I pursued, and it happened. You know, so it's just something I loved.
So how many hours now? I hear you have to put in the hours to
Not
be
that
certified.
much. Maybe just over 200 hours as a solo
200
pilot.
hours?
But I'm hoping to keep building that.
Which plane?
I fly single engine planes.
Okay.
Cessna 172s predominantly. But I am looking to convert to other multi-engine planes over time.
Oh, amazing.
Yes.
So, what's the best scenery? What you like, flying over mountains or the ocean? Tell me about that. Shed some light into that. That is exciting.
Both, actually.
Yeah.
I love flying over mountains. But what's really nice is flying over mountains that are going onto a coastline.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
Beautiful.
Because you are in these mountains and you just get over the mountain and suddenly there's just a wide expanse of water in front of you.
I'm sure that's beautiful.
So I love flying along coastlines
Yeah.
mostly because I get the best of both worlds. I get to see the water, I get to see the land, and I get to see people living their lives down there, cars moving, cows in the fields. You know, it's
Yeah.
a different perspective, and it's so quiet and peaceful up there. So it's a very nice perspective.
Let's talk about your mind, how you think, how you what can I say? I want to know how you process the wins and misses. Let's talk about the misses. When you thought things in life were going to go a certain way, but maybe something happened. How do you take yourself out of, that space?
And this might be strange, but I love the misses.
You love the misses.
Because
But-
when they happen, I don't love them while they're happening. But when I look back, I realize that at those times, my mind just focused. Because suddenly I had to do something. I had to come with a solution. So I think that's how I am. I love coming up with solutions for things. And misses force you to come up with those solutions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I won't say I look forward to misses. I don't want to miss.
Mm-hmm.
But when they do happen, I appreciate the lessons,
Mm-hmm.
and I appreciate the kick it gives me
Mm-hmm.
to solve the problem that will be at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're an avid reader. Are you also a writer? Do you take down notes? Do you journal? How do you keep the lessons in the book without forgetting? How do you?
So I love reading.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I
What do you love reading, if you don't mind me asking?
everything.
Everything?
Yes, I love biographies.
Okay.
I love instructional books.
Mm-hmm.
I love fiction. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that I won't read.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And when I do read, I wouldn't say I take notes, but I do try and take note of things that strike me.
Mm-hmm.
I love journaling in a way. I like writing notes
Mm-hmm.
and putting my thoughts down.
Mm-hmm.
And at times, what I actually do is once I read a book,
Mm-hmm.
I normally try and summarize it in one page.
Okay.
I try and say, as I'm done with the book,
Mm-hmm.
in one page, what was this book about?
Mm-hmm.
So that I can feel that I gained something from it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when it's a more of a instructional biography or a book that's, I suppose, more foundational. I don't do that with fiction, of course. My fiction I just enjoy. But I do like to write down things that I'm picking up in those books so that I don't forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for taking your time, Captain. If you don't mind me calling you Captain.
Well, actually, you need to. I don't have the hours yet to be called that.
Okay.
If I'm being technical, I'm just a pilot. But I appreciate the sentiment. And I enjoyed this conversation.
Thank you very much. So, our listeners, we had the soon-to-be Captain Jack Smith. I hope we learned a lot, and I hope we took copious notes and took in the wisdom. Thank you very much. Till next time in the marketplace. This is your host, Dani Sika. Bye.